Greetings, my fellow Imperials. Jones is still sick, but even if he wasn't, he thinks making bot voices is fun, so here I am. Today I'll be going over Latent Diffusion Level 4, where we'll go over some of the best community resources for using Stable Diffusion effectively and easily. I would have had this as Level 1 or 2, however there's quite a bit of foundation needed to understand what's going on. This will be a longer video, just warning you now. So we'll start with the most important command in this video, git clone hoteps github.com/automatic1111/stable-diffusion-webui. This command will only work if you already have Git installed. However, don't panic if you don't. If you've never used Git before, then just go to the website in your browser. In the top right section of the middle code portion, there's a bright green button that says Code, and if you click it, you have options for how to download the code. I recommend downloading as a zip if you're new to this. Once that's finished downloading, if you have it as a zip, unzip the folder and put it somewhere you'll remember it. The next portion draws upon a skill we learned in Level 3, downloading models. Go on the Hugging Face website to find whatever models you'd like. Then run the code up above in this notebook to download those models. Then copy them into the models folder within the Stable Diffusion folder. Once you have all of the models you want, we can get to customizing your installation to you. For those of you without GPUs, you should probably stick to steps 1 through 3 and skip to 5. However, it is possible to run this whole system on only a cloud. Just be prepared for it to be slow. Edit the launch.py file. Within the prepare environment function, edit these two lines. Torch command equals os.environ.get torch command. To say pip install torchporch vision and torchodio, then -- extra index earl hotpeps /extra index earl hotpets /download.pytorch.org/pup. And command line args equals os.environ.get command line args to have skip torch CUDA test precision as full and no half. For those of you with smaller GPUs, meaning less than 12 gigabytes of memory, you're in luck. Let's customize your install to allow you to generate large images without running out of memory. Edit the file WebUI-user.bat. You can do that in VS Code or just in a text editor. Put --medvram after command line, args equals and save. If you have fewer than 4 gigabytes of memory, put --lovram instead and save. There's one other option for those of you who have medium to large GPUs but would like to generate faster. Edit launch.py and find xformers equals. Change that line to true and it will speed things up and cost less memory. If you decide to do this, you may experience a slight drop in image quality. However, for anyone who would like to enable automatic updates, because this repository is added to often within WebUI user.batad git pull right above the call statement. Once you're through all of that, go ahead and run WebUI user.bat if you've added any customization. Otherwise, just run WebUI.bat. If you're on a Mac, you can run this as well, but you need to give the bat file 755 permissions, then just run it through your terminal. Linux users, I trust you to know what you're doing to be able to run this. Running the script will take a long time, as it will download several repositories that are upwards of 20 to 40 gigabytes. My current installation, for example, is over 200 gigabytes right now. Images and videos are large files, so keep that in mind while you use this, and manage the space on your hard drive appropriately. Once it's finished running, you'll be presented with a web address that starts with 127. Copy that and paste it in the browser of your choice. Welcome to the Stable Diffusion web user interface. I'll transition over to Bastilla to continue teaching you.
Thanks, Kreia, and thank you, Jones, for creating us and breathing life into our video game forms. We so appreciate it. Looking at the user interface the first time can be rather overwhelming. But don't be alarmed. Many of these are actually things we've already learned. In the first tab, Text Image, up in the top left, we can see a drop-down menu labelled Stable Diffusion Checkpoint. This is where you can select which of any models you've downloaded to use. Underneath that are all of the options we have. I'll only be going over text to image and image to image in this video, but I'll also briefly cover the open source nature of this repo for further extension. Prompt is the same as what we've been doing so far, but there's an added benefit you can turn on and off in settings. Here you add parentheses around what you want the model to pay extra attention to and brackets around things you'd like it to pay less attention to. This will come up later, remember it for now. Next is negative prompt, one of the best additions to this concept. Maybe you don't know exactly what you're looking for, but you know exactly what you're not looking for. Put all of the things you don't want in the negative prompt. If your generated people have too many mouths or hands, for example, put too many hands or mouths in the negative prompt. Sampling steps we've already seen. I like to start out with 28 when I'm working, and that's usually more than enough to get high quality images. The sampling method you may recognize as well. We used ELMS and DDIM on our own. EULA A and EULA are generally looked at as the best for fantasy-style images, but experiment around. All of these samplers are listed because it's possible to get great results depending on what you're looking for. Width and height should be self-explanatory, and we've dealt with them before. Again, remember that these models were trained on 512 by 512 size, and if you increase that or change it, some models will only return a black screen or might include duplicating artifacts. Restore Faces uses an upscaler normally used for restoring old, damaged photos of people and can sometimes yield great results, making people look more lifelike. Tiling is for all of you video game designers who are looking for something that seamlessly weaves together with itself multiple times to make cohesive tiles. Make tiles and mod Doom. It'll be awesome. High-resolution fix is likewise for upscaling. Being other machine learning models, the results are far from predictable in this area, and I encourage you to experiment. We've been over batch count before, and I'd recommend keeping your count smaller, same with your batch size, unless you absolutely know your machine can handle it. CFG scale is also something not new. It's the same as guidance scale. This is the amount of creativity you allow the model to have. Lower numbers mean in for more. Higher numbers mean just do what I asked for. Seed is probably the most important portion of this. If you want to make sure your work is replicable, pick a seed so that you can guarantee if you enter the same prompt with the same settings, you'll get the same image. Because so much of this process revolves around randomness, you don't want to lose any work you'd be proud of later. Clip aesthetic is used to tune the tokenization and embedding of the prompt texts. So if you're into natural language processing, you should pay more attention and experiment with it. Script down at the bottom allows you to choose from a bunch of community made scripts for further processing of text to image pipelines. They also serve as templates for making your own scripts if you'd like to do anything further. If you make another script that works really well, remember to give back to the community in the form of publishing and pull requests. Hoarding technology in this area is looked down upon, to say the least. Moving on and going to image to image.
Hey Jones, it's me, Young Mark Hamill-bot. Image to image, an algorithm I've not dealt with since Han Solo abandoned the rebellion. No matter. In essence, image to image is the same as text to image. The biggest difference is that you provide the algorithm with already created latents to perturb and further modify. Prompt and negative prompt remain the same. The image you select will carry some of the same assumptions as before. All of the models are trained on 512 by 512 images. If you send in images that are of different sizes or resolutions, there may be problems with your output. Look into how to convert images to those sizes and experiment around. Some of the models can more than handle it. The only truly new thing with the image-to-image algorithm is denoising strength. This tells our model how much of the original image to keep the same when generating. 0 means you want only the original image and nothing new. 1 means you only want new things, and the model doesn't really take the original image into account. The most interesting applications of the image-to-image pipeline are definitely with the scripts and batching. Let's go through one workflow together. First, let's go through an in and out painting workflow. Let's start by downloading and selecting our in-painting model. For those of you that don't yet have it, it's the Stable Diffusion 1.5 in painting checkpoint on Hugging Face. Once it's selected, you can either generate a new image or pick an image that you already have. If you generated an image you like, select it and click Send to Image to Image to Image. Otherwise, you can just click and drag it into the Image to Image box. Down below, select Outpainting Mark II and Scripts and let's go. Decide which directions you'd like to have the model infer. Then write a prompt for what you want will appear there. Also, set your guidance scale and denoising strength to help decide how similar to the original image you want it to be. Once that's set, generate the image. Unfortunately, this model isn't particularly great at outpainting, but we planned for this. Select None in your script and select Send to InPaint for your image. Here we can draw a mask to fill in much better what we were hoping for. Mask the entire portion of the image that you'd like to regenerate. Change your prompt if needed and hit Generate. Wow, much better. Almost like this model was made for that. Okay, now let's grab a video you already have that you'd like to animate using Stable Diffusion. We're going to assume that this video is well within your right to own and edit and won't violate any copyright. For me, I have a nice video of me hugging my mom after getting home from a long trip. We're going to use another staple of the image and audio community to help us out here. Here's the command to split the video into frames dash. Then your video, then specify how you want the subsequent images named and hide banner. Here's another command to split up only a certain portion of a video, just in case you have a longer one. Start time, end time, the larger file, a codec copy, v codec copy, and the smaller file's name. Once you have your frames, set them apart and put them in their own folder on your hard drive. Once you have your frames, set them apart and put them in their own folder on your hard drive. Back in Stable Diffusion, click on Batch Image to Image and specify the folder containing your images and where you'd like the output. Keep in mind this works best with one coherent shot with one subject in the shot in the background. If you find you're getting unstable results, try modifying your images or doing multiple batches split up by shot. Once you have all of your generated images, the command to turn the generated images back into video is this. FMPEG framerate the same pattern that you broke up the images with, Chibi Lips 264 and pixel format U464 and pixel format U420p, and I like to name mine result. You can even add audio if you have it with this command. FMPEG AN, I grab the video you made VN, I get the video with sound. Then CAA and copy to get the result with audio. Congratulations for completing level 4 of latent diffusion. There are literally hundreds of other community resources to look at for this repo. Special thanks to Automatic 1111 for creating and maintaining the repo. You're a legend. Check back for level 5, where we will be manipulating the repo and doing some very fun things with Stable Diffusion. Keep in mind as well that level 5 is no longer beginner friendly, so if you're still a beginner, you may consider watching it to see what's possible. May the force be with you.